So round 2 in Cincinnati is over and we've had the big guns on court. Jannik Sinner making it look easy on a hard court yet again. And Carlos Alcaraz, he's doing what he always does. Starts well, drops a set, then goes through in dramatic fashion in the third. Daniil Medvedev, the gradual decline continues. What is going on with him right now? And over on the women's side, we got Sabalenka versus Radukanu. That is a top matchup for round 3. That's right, and if you haven't done so yet, give us a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get stuck into the action, and this is where we are going to start. And I think that we've got to look at the contrast in the wins of Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. And like Swiss Tennis says here, this guy is literally hammering everybody on earth on every surface, and he's not even sweating. The last time I saw anything like this was mid-2000s Roger Federer. Only 101% Carlos Alcaraz is close to him right now. It is very, very impressive. It's pretty crazy what he is doing right now. And look at the stats. Jannik Sinner's 2024 was the third best hard court campaign ever at 55 wins and only 3 losses, 94.8%. His 2025 currently stands at 38 wins, 2 losses as his US swing begins. Mardy Fish saying, now do who Roger had to deal with against who Sinner has had to deal with. I'll hang up and listen. Yep, obviously alluding there to the fact that he thinks Roger Federer had much tougher opposition to play against during his amazing streaks that he was on hard court back in the early 2000s. I would have to agree with him. I think the level of competition is higher, but you can't really criticize Jannik Sinner for beating players so easily. And in doing this, I think it was his quickest match win. 6-1, 6-1 was the scoreline against Galan or Riveros. And I didn't expect there to be much of a challenge, but the way he's able to make it look so easy, that's surely got to be the biggest worry for everybody else, because he stepped on court and he literally just demolished him. It was under an hour, and the tennis he's playing right now on a hard court is scary. He's obviously the best hard court player on tour, without a shadow of a doubt. No one's close. He's holding the 2 hard court Grand Slams at the moment. He's holding the Wimbledon Grand Slam at the moment. He was a point away from holding all 4 Grand Slams right now. Clearly the best player on tour. He's the number 1 player in the world. And I think this sums it up perfectly. One of the most impressive attributes about Jannik Sinner's tennis is the consistency. He's the player with the least probability of losing a match that he's supposed to win. When he plays against lower ranked players, it's always methodical demolition. Definitely. It's so impressive. And he just seems to have this tennis brain at the moment. And some people may call it a little bit robotic. Some people may think it's a little bit boring to see him winning so easily. But you've got to appreciate when somebody is great at what they do. And if you watch Jannik Sinner on a tennis court and the way he works out how he's going to win each rally, and you see his placement, his movement, doesn't ever look under stress. I think that's one of the clear things in his game. He doesn't ever look like he's worried on a tennis court. He looks like he always knows he has the ability to turn it around if anything did go badly, which at the moment doesn't look like much is going to go badly for him. The only thing that could go badly is potentially an injury. And that's it. There doesn't seem to be anything else other than, like the other tweet said, like a Carlos Alcaraz in ridiculous form, playing his 100% or 101% for an entire match and Sinner's level, it would have to drop as well, especially on a hard court. And especially when you see Carlos, who was the 2023 runner-up in Cincinnati, starting his campaign with a topsy-turvy win over Daniil Dzumhur, who, if we remember, only a few months ago gave him a real challenge at Roland Garros as well. Obviously, Alcaraz went on to win that title, but yeah, this 33-year-old, he seems to turn up against Carlos, and Carlos is the type of player who you can actually get under the skin of if he has a bit of a dip in his level, which seems to happen on a regular occasion in each tournament, really. I wouldn't say that there's any tournament that I remember where he's gone in and there hasn't been a match where it's been a bit up and down and you're unsure of his level, if he's going to be able to pull it back. You sort of deep down know that there is another step he's going to go up just to force this over the line, especially against lower ranked opposition. The big problem that he'll face, though, is when you play against the best players like Jannik Sinner, even Novak Djokovic, as we've seen at the Australian Open. If you're not right at your game, they will beat you. And I think he's just lucky he can get these ones out the way and hopefully grow as the tournament goes on. Some crazy points, though. It's almost the opposite to the Jannik Sinner match. Jannik Sinner's was clinical, so many winners, just looked like so many levels above his opponent. It was almost like amateur versus professional, nearly club player versus professional. No disrespect. That's how good he makes tennis look. And Carlos, great for a set, 6-1. Loses the second set, 6-2, with just loads of unforced errors, just flying off the frame, going long. And then we get all the way to the third set. Then he picks it up again. And obviously there's going to be some nerves from your opponent when you're playing a big player. He tends to raise his game when there are big moments. And yeah, just a lot of drama, as always, from Carlos. And I believe he had something to say after winning this match. He said, "I feel like I was on a roller coaster." A lot of good feelings, a lot of bad feelings. All I can say is happy to get the win at the end. I will try to have my confidence back tomorrow. It was a little bit tricky today. Damir plays really smart tennis, and I have to be really focused and ready for that. Rest day tomorrow, and I give myself the confidence back and hopefully be ready for the next round. He is a more tricky opponent, I would say, than Sinner's opponent. But I think that he raises his level against certain players. I don't think the rest of the year on the tour for Daniil Dzumhur isn't really like this. He can lose to just random players. He can get beaten by people who you wouldn't assume he'd get beaten by. Looking at his performances, coming into Cincinnati, he lost in Toronto straight sets to Comersana, mainly a clay courter. Lost in Umag to Carlos Taberna. Lost to Cerundolo in Bastad. Still some good wins in there in between as well, but still losing more than he's winning, I would say. He went on after losing to Carlos Alcaraz, lost all of his matches on grass, didn't win one this year. So it is what it is. He raises his level against some big players, but doesn't quite have enough to get it over the line. Carlos Alcaraz will need to play better. He's playing Medvedev, I believe, in the next round. If he gets past him, could be a Jakub Mensik, very dangerous hardcourt player. Luca Nardi is playing Mensik in the next round. Somebody who's not going to be in the next round, though, and the gradual decline continues. It's Daniil Medvedev, and I think this picture sums it up. And maybe it's like an ostrich with his head in the sand. Daniil with his head in the freezer or the fridge, the water cooler, clearly struggling with the conditions, clearly struggling with confidence. What's going on? Let me know in that comment section below. Do you think we're going to see Daniil back at his best level ever again. This is supposed to be his best time on tour. You've got to remember, this is Daniil Medvedev's surface. When we hit the Canadian hardcourt swing, he used to go nearly undefeated. Now he's gone out in his pretty much the first match, I think. What's that? Walton. I said I didn't think we'd see much from Medvedev in this one. Walton absolutely picked him apart in that final set. He was struggling in the second with the conditions, and as soon as that second set went, you could tell he just looked a bit leggy, wasn't able to get around the court as well. Walton handled the conditions brilliantly. Got to give him some credit. I know that we're getting a lot of players with this statistic with saying like, wow, his first like top 20 win or his first win against such and such. I think this is what it gets like, though. You end up with somebody in a decline and then players getting their first win against somebody whose form isn't really a top 20 player right now. And Daniil Medvedev, he did well in Halle, but other than that, he's having a dreadful time. And maybe he's just clinging on to that Halle, that Halle tournament and some of the form. I heard him talking about it in some previous press conferences. But he really needs to look deep within and like conjure up something from the past. Needs to change his game, in my opinion. I've said it in many like other podcasts. I think the game has moved forward and they know how to play against players like him now who like to hang back on the court. He needs to add something new to his game. I know that we were saying that somebody else who needed to add something new to his game was Alex de Minaur with the power, and he looked like he was the person coming to the forefront when all the big players were away. All the big players are back now, but they're not the ones who have taken him out. It's actually Riley Opelka who's beaten de Minaur for the first time, and that's in 6 attempts as well. A terrible draw, really, for Alex de Minaur. You just don't want Riley Opelka early on in a tournament in America as well. Just a nightmare. And yeah, he gets beaten in straight sets, 7-6, 6-4. And we've been bigging up Alex de Minaur on the channel. I've got him in my top 5 come the end of the year. I think he's that good. This just doesn't... It's just think it's a bit of bad luck. I think Riley Opelka can do this to anybody. Yeah, I mean, let me know what you think in that comment section. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Riley Opelka maybe go out next round. Who's he got? Let's have a look. He has... Komasana. Okay, no, I don't see him going out next round, but maybe the round after that. Got maybe Andrei Rublev in his crosshairs. That could be a potential next round matchup. Rublev knocking out Lerner Tien, who made it through one round, but unfortunately, when you're lower ranked, you're going to keep on meeting these big boys as you go through the tournament. Yeah, just have a quick look at the draw. Some of the matches to look forward to. Go all the way to the top. So Jannik Sinner playing Diallo next. That'll be a tougher test. I expect Sinner to still win that comfortably, and probably going to be facing, I'd say, Tommy Paul, but Manarino just beat Mahatch in straight sets, which is strange. Didn't expect that. I'd expect to see Sinner Paul moving down. Tsitsipas winning. Well, I didn't think he would, but he has done that. Beat Malazan. Probably, if he's in good form, could beat Bonzi as well. Musetti out. I did say I didn't think we would see Musetti Sinner, but we don't even get Musetti Tsitsipas. Fritz doing all right. Fonseca moving through, but he did beat Fokina by way of retirement. Fokina was up a set, and I think they were about 5-4 in the second, but then he retired with injury. TFO still cruising through. We got Mickelson, Rune. That'll be an entertaining one. Wouldn't be surprised if we see an upset there. Mickelson, pretty good server and good in the US, and Shelton also going through via retirement of his opponent. Batista Agut still going through. That'd be entertaining. I expect Shelton to win, though. Looking down, Khachanov continuing his good form. Zverev looking good as well. Beat Bassas already pretty easily. But that's pretty much the men's. We've got Popper and Rublev. That'll be a good one too. I'm interested to see how Alcaraz, if he ups his level in the next round. Moving quickly, and just a brief look on the women's. Shout out to somebody who got knocked out in the final round of qualifying, Iva Jovic. but then she got a lucky loser spot. And then she came into the tournament, and now she's won 2 matches, and she's beaten the world number 23 Noskova 6-3, 6-love. Come on. This is good for my wild card for the year. Iva Jovic, young talent coming out of the US, obviously with Serbian parents as well. I can't wait to see if she has a good US Open as well. This is exciting if you are, I'd say if you're Serbian or American, to be honest. I know that she is listed under the US. I'm sure there'll be a few Serbian people cheering her on as well. And I believe that she's facing Barbora Krejcikova in the next round, who knocked out Svitolina. Let me just confirm that for you. So, yes, Barbora Krejcikova versus Iva Jovic. That's a tough one. Krejcikova knocking out Svitolina. And the other big match that we've got coming up is later on today. It's Sabalenka versus Raducanu, set for a 3rd meeting. The last times they played each other at Wimbledon just recently, 7-6, 6-4 to Sabalenka, quite close. And then Indian Wells last year, 6-3, 7-5. So they're always quite close sets between the two. But I think when you move on to these US hard courts, the clear favorite is going to be Aryna Sabalenka. Let me know how you think this match is going to go in the comment section below. I've been impressed with Raducanu this year. I think that she's really starting to put some good form together, looking good in multiple tournaments, which is great. And like it says here, 24th win of 2025, beating Danilovic in the last round. Looking like she's going to be a seed for the US Open as well, which is fantastic. Only 22 years old. Do I see her beating Sabalenka, though? My honest opinion is no. I think it'll probably be a similar scoreline as well. I think that we will see her run her close in maybe one set, and then maybe Sabalenka will bring out the firepower once she's got one set under her belt and probably takes it in straight sets. But that's just a quick roundup of round 2. Let me know your thoughts about the Sinner-Alcaraz rivalry, and who do you think is going to have the better hard court swing? Do you think Alcaraz is just a bit of a slow burn and going to gradually build, or is Sinner just so dominant right now and he's just going to win the lot? I want to know your thoughts, and if you haven't done so yet, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you for more tennis action coming up soon.